Regio Dolphins. Welcome back to another Read Aloud with Mrs. Mullen. This is for our kinder through third graders. Today's Read Aloud has a song attached to it, and it's probably a fan favorite. This is a book that I've already read one installment of. Unfortunately, they're kind of hard to find in the library, and I think it's because so many students check them out. And it's another Pete the Cat book. This one is called Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. The author is by Eric Litwin, and the art is by James Dean. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Count. 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Groovy. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 2. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Did Pete cry? Say it for me. Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 0. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? Make a prediction. What do you think he saw when he looked down? His belly button! And he kept on singing his song. Okay, sing it with me. It's all good. My button, I still have my belly button. My button, I still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. Isn't that such a fun book? Love it. Okay, so here's what I'd love for you guys to do. is I would like for you to find something around the house that you can create this song for. You can redo this song, the My Buttons song. I'm going to kind of go to a page that's easy for you guys to read it. And I want you to find something around the house, and it could be 4 buttons, it could be marbles, it could be 4 toys, like 4 Barbies, G.I. Joe, Hot Wheels. It could be something in the kitchen, like 4 pieces of fruit. It could be anything that you can get your hands on. It could be outside playing with rocks or sticks. But I'd like you to practice this, where you are going to create a song, and instead of singing about my buttons, you're going to sing about my sticks or my rocks or my Barbies or my apples. And I'd love for you to play around with this counting game. Now, for my older students, you can do this with larger numbers if you have access to like larger amounts of toys. For example, Legos, you could line up your Legos and kind of count backwards that way. You could also change it up where you don't just lose 1 at a time, but maybe you lose 2 at a time or 3 at a time. So that would actually challenge you with your subtraction. So if we're practicing taking away 2 or taking away 3, that's going to be more challenging than when we just take away 1. So have fun with this today. Once you kind of find your items and create your song, it would be wonderful if you could sing that to a family member. And if you could get them to sing along with you. It's a very catchy tune. Let me sing the tune one more time just to get that stuck in your head. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. So you can see how that could fit with whatever item you decide to play with today. Today's all about kind of math and singing and finding the connection of how we can learn and practice easy subtraction with the things that we have at home. I hope you enjoyed this book today. I also hope that you understood the message that sometimes things will come and sometimes things will go, and it's okay not to cry about it. It's okay to understand and be flexible, just like our groovy Pete the cat. Have a great rest of the day, dolphins. Miss you guys lots. Bye.